Words of wisdom to young DJs. First rule, don't be like everyone else. Find your original you, and no matter what anybody tells you, work on that. Perfect your craft, and don't let people tell you how you have to be. That's what's made us who we are today. And in the industry all the time, people are like, these are my idols. This is who I want to be like. Well, when you emulate them, you're already behind. You know, if you want to be the next big thing as a DJ, which everybody does, so you can't emulate someone else and say, that's who I want to be like. What you have to do is find out who you are and make that the next big thing.
What is the purpose of EDM Syndicate?
The description really is just a group of like-minded individuals.
But we do a lot of work that's behind the scenes as well. You know, it's about getting together with producers, artists, people who are having trouble, you know, getting noticed.
We got to bring that unity back to the scene.
With respect and positive vibes. I think that's what we're bringing to the table, and we're definitely making waves. And that, to me, is what EDM Syndicate is all about.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Guys, can you introduce yourselves?
My name is Garrett, and I go by G-Force.
I'm LOSMAN. My name's Chris.
DJ Strobe, my name's Steve.
Jason, Phat Boy.
EDM Syndicate is we play all kinds of electronic dance music.
There's a lot of producers out there that nobody's ever heard of, but they got great music, great style. And what we do is we reach out individually. We're like, hey, you know, we got a nice following. We do a lot of live sets. And what we do is play their music, help them get noticed. And, you know, that's something that doesn't happen these days. You know, like we really root for each other, try to bring each other up, and, you know, try to unite everybody. You know, it's not just us trying to unite, man. We want everybody to be as one in this whole thing.
Who or what influenced you guys to become DJs? When did this all start for you?
I found electronic music at a very, very young age, growing up in Central Florida, going back to, you know, nearly childhood, you know, skating rink and the freestyle music that was around in the 80s, as far as, you know, Africa, Bambaataa, and the Soul Sonic 4s. Fat, Miami Beach, stuff like that. I mean, and I grew up in the Daytona area, so when I would go to the beach, you know, the older kids would be, you know, rolling by, on the beach, and I would hear this music that you don't hear on the radio. But I didn't know what it was, you know. And fast forward a few years later, the later '90s, one of my older brother's best friends had a CD, and I was listening to it, and you know, like the light bulb went off, and I was like, that's what that is. So, I mean, I found the music at a very early age, and you know, going to events and shows, and, you know, networking with people, it really kind of fueled the fire.
What influences me? Some of the people that influences me is like DJ Fix. Is a good buddy of mine. He's definitely been a big influence on me because of his productions. Magic Mike, you know, through the years, in the high school years, he's definitely, you know, the sound I want to keep with the old school sound. And just, you know, like I said, once again, the crew, the EDM Syndicate themselves, that's very inspirational. It keeps me going, keeps us all going. We're just pushing each other. We're not, you know, we got to pull each other up. And that's what inspires me lately.
There's so much inspiring about electronic music for me. I remember the first time that I listened to electronic music. I was really young. I was in a place I wasn't supposed to be. I was in this place where they would play like garage band stuff, you know, like alternative rock and roll. I think I was like 14 at the time. Just sitting back, we were hanging out, and, you know, you start hearing this strange music, you know, you're not paying attention to what's going on. And I was like, what is this? I got to find out where this stuff is. Where's it coming from? What is it?
Always been into music all throughout my life. Play different instruments, and then I found this scene, and I was like, I started learning about it and finding great artists, you know, and like other ones that have already been mentioned, and I just really love it. I just love music, and right now, and the best thing that really inspires me is the group of guys I have here. You know, they really do inspire me.
I know as DJs, you all have different skills that you're really good at. What are you best at?
Aside from really having a certain skill set that the other doesn't, I mean, there's probably a few things that of us may not have as much experience in. It's a good thing about the guys here, you know, like we all are willing to help each other out and push each other. And like they were saying, that's one of the best things about this. We all like to stay on the same page.
I used to make tapes from the radio. I used to make tapes from the radio, and I would cut out the commercials and pass out tapes and say, DJ LOSMAN here. And people would they liked them, you know. I'd cut out the commercials, and I was like, man, I'm actually good at this editing thing. And so I would, you know, DJ LOSMAN from like, you know, 9, 10 years old, passing out tapes, and in like 95, I think I touched my first set of turntables, and by 96, I was in my first club, and just trying to think I had it all with the big head, and someone popped my bubble, and this is not how you're supposed to do it, and that goes back to influences. And I'm like, okay, and I had a reality check, and I've done a lot of reality checks through the time. I've done a lot of reality checks through others that I've helped bring up in the scene myself. Any mixed match of us four, and in the six, even YUSUF and Versatile, we can sit there and do 4 turntables or 4 decks or 4 CDJs. Sometimes we've even done 6 at once, and it actually sounds good. It doesn't sound too cluttered, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to not do the norm as like a DJ and just playing, great song to song to song to song. We're trying to set the bar up here, and we're getting noticed.
We're all pretty good at everything that we do. We try to stay. I think the way Garrett was trying to explain it was as on the same page, meaning like we all can play on a controller. We all can play on some turntables. We can all, play on some CDJs. We all try to interact with the crowd, and we don't look at each other as like I'm better than you or you're better at this. Personally, I'm not a scratch guy. Like I don't scratch.
No, we have.
But we have people in the group that do that. We do have like individual skill sets in a sense, like some of us work in production, some of us are DJs, and we even do our own promoting. You know what I mean? It's like so we do everything together as a unit.
Strobe is definitely a huge part. I remix myself. I do a little remixing, but when it comes down to actually beat, hi-hat, and beat and starting from scratch, he's like kind of our mentor in that department. And also, Versatile's, he's a veteran of that too. So he's a huge part, Everyone plays a big part in all this.
We're all versatile. We're so versatile in what we do, And it all boils down to that respect too.
The more genres that we can play would allow us to appeal to a larger fan base and a flavor for everybody.
Chris is like probably one of our top promoters. In episode 3, you had Katharina Santana, who is an excellent promoter. She's an excellent vocalist. If you're seeing this video, skip back a couple of on their page and you'll see episode 3. Check out Katharina Santana. She can sing her beep. I'll beep that for you out off. She can sing. We're gonna make a track, and we're gonna have her singing on it. We also have other labels that are looking at her as a vocalist, and so she's also a big part of it too. It's great.
All right, guys, have you had any challenges that you had to overcome?
Probably the traffic to get here today. I always push myself, and with the guys here, we just try to push ourselves. So, as far as what we're doing, it's not really a hard challenge or whatever. It's just because we keep pushing each other.
I had no musical talents whatsoever, growing up. I never went to band. I never played a guitar or a piano or any of that. And I found that I still had this love for music. You know, it was inside of me, but I didn't know what to do with it. So as becoming a DJ for me was a way to let that type of expression come out of me. And this guy right here was one of the guys, like the main source, main influence of showing me how to do it. Let me go out and make a fool out of myself and then say, okay, now that you've done that, let me tell you exactly what you did wrong. And to me, like, that was a struggle. Like, you know, I had probably had like a couple months just learning how to play on a turntable. And he's like, hey, man, you're going to come play in the club tonight. So, and I can remember like my first gig, I'm like standing up there. I've got one record playing and I'm like standing there like, there's all these people out there, you know, and if you've never done it, don't laugh, because like, quite frankly, like, it's like stage fright is real. Like when it counts, it's like, oh my God, you know, and it sounds corny, but it's true, you know. And that was like my first struggle in the game, is that how to be me no matter where I'm at, like whether I'm in my bedroom, whether I'm on stage or at a friend's house, you know, being able to try to relax and just let myself be myself. And I think that's something that every artist can agree with, you know. And then, you know, fast forwarding a few years, you know, you get through the working with production companies, working with labels and trying to figure things out. There's all kinds of struggles there. You know, sometimes you get burned, sometimes you make it through, and sometimes good things happen. And I took a hiatus for a while. I had to make a decision. Was I ever going to do this again? I knew that this was me. So that struggle for me was real. Like, am I going to give this up? I finally made a decision. You know, it's like, I have to do this for me. If I'm not doing it for the fans or whatever, I'm going to do this for me, and whatever happens, happens. And it's been a great thing ever since then, you know. And it's been probably 4 or 5 years now that I've been struggling behind the scenes to learn how to be a producer, do things that I don't know how to do, and it's difficult. It's all a struggle. And the one thing that helps is having a group of guys or girls, whatever the case may be, that you can call your friends, that can say, hey, you look like you're about to give up. Well, let me help you, you know. And I couldn't have done it. Like, he saved me many, many times. Whenever I'm like, bro, I can't get this freaking track. I don't know what I'm doing. It sounds retarded. And he's like, bro, you're being crazy. It sounds great. And then I turn it in and I'm like, yeah, this is great, you know. And so, you know, it's sometimes we make things harder on ourselves. And without these guys, like, I don't think I could be who I am. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm going to say something that we're all going to agree on. We are all our own worst, what is it, guys? Critics. We can sit there and be, you know, rocking it with a mix. We can be rocking it at a club in front of tons of people, and we'll be like, oh man, they're gonna be like, you killed it. What are you even talking about? You know, I mean, we make a mix and we're like totally 100% with it. But that's real DJs. They'll, you know, they're like that. That's what they think. You are your own worst critic.
Challenges. I learned to mix back in like 90, 98. Kind of mirrors Steve's story. There was a handful of years where I had completely walked away from it, whether it was due to life on life's terms or my own decisions. There was a point where I wasn't sure if I was really going to do anything with it. And, you know, like I came to this point in my life where like I had to make a decision. I didn't want to get to be 50 or 60 years old and be like, oh man, I wish I had, you know, chased that. You know, I wanted to make sure that once, you know, when I got old enough, I could say at least I tried. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad I held on to it, because when I made a decision, when I made those decisions, like it just kind of, the way it happened, I mean, I don't really subscribe to coincidence too much, but the way it happened led me here. You know, I met this guy, I met Jason down there and Strobe. It's all really a great, and then the folks from Coco that couldn't be here. I mean, they're all really great people. It's just where it's at for me, you know. And Yes, I am glad that I stuck with it because I wouldn't know all these jokers.
Okay, so what are your recent accomplishments?
We had a song put on Beatport, our very first track, Drop You, as a remix. Man behind the scenes did pretty much most of the groundwork. I pretty much gave him the direction to go, and we knocked it out. And that's the beginning of what's more to come. Because talk about the pusher of the group. He is the pusher of the group. I mean, he just pushes us, to do certain things that we're not focusing on. And so that's the biggest thing there is having our first track on Beatport. So yeah, you check it out. It's Drop You. Oh yeah, it's a banger. You'll hear it tonight, by the way.
Anything you want to say in closing?
If you guys want to check us out and you don't know who we are, what we're about, and you want to see what it is, come check us out on Facebook at EDM Syndicate. Look us up. We do live broadcast constantly. We're also constantly engaging. If you have any questions, want to find out where any next events might be or what's happening, give us a message. Click, comment, share, that same old thing that we always do. So, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys for talking to us. We really appreciate it.
What did you say?
Hi, what's your name?
Renato Guerrero from Funky Flavor Music.
And what did you think of EDM Syndicate tonight?
Oh, it's great. I love it. Great vibe, great music, just awesome bass, awesome.
And how did you hear about EDM Syndicate?
We met on Facebook, and we're all on the same page, so we like to support each other. So yeah, it's just good stuff. We're all out here doing the breaks thing.
And what's your favorite style of music?
Of course, breaks, house, tech house. I love all the EDM. I love everything. So, jazz, country, I love it all. Whatever.
All right, good.
Breaks, yeah, I'm a breaks DJ, so yeah, love it. Producer.
Thank you for speaking to us. Thank you for watching Purpose. Find Yours.
Yeah, it's not about getting rich. It's really not. Like, I do this because I love music and I love people. Back then in your circle, if you knew one DJ, you were lucky. Now everybody's a DJ.
And then what Chris was saying earlier is that it's changed since back then, but like we're striving to kind of bring that old school vibe back.
At Peak, downtown.
They were showing support. You saw the cameras in our face. Crazy. It was great. I'm so happy. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. It was definitely a success.
You guys rock. When's the next show?
Stay tuned. Check out facebook.com/EDM Syndicate. We got you.
And thank you for watching. Remember, find your purpose.